Greens family, this is Bomani Tyehimba, and I'm here with Kala Genesis. And tonight, family, we're here to talk about the incredible topic that we've been talking about the last few months, which is our Liberia journey of a lifetime. And that's that flyer family right there. Our Liberia Reconnection and Investment Tour, July 20th to the 30th, 2023. So, yes, family, you literally have well over 12 months to get ready for this journey. And what we're doing is just going over some basic information, and also want to connect you with Kala Genesis talking about the 200-year Liberia settlement. And we're going to talk about some incredible historical sites. And family, as always, on all of our journeys, you can visit our website right there, africafortheafricans.org. So you can view 100% of the details. What you see here is a flyer, just a basic overview. But once you're on our website, you'll be able to see the full itinerary, the full tour overview, and also you'll be able to see the general terms and preparation details. So these are the things that we do when we organize these journeys. And Liberia is a special country, and this will be our 11th country traveling to Africa. And it is a part of a 6-country incredible rotation as far as 2023. And this is the only country that we're literally going to take to a certain level where we're looking to get into this. We want to make sure, we want to make our ancestors proud. And give us a view so we can see. Brother College Genesis, we want to make our ancestors proud. So
Yeah, we are.
that
We owe
we
to our
forget
ancestors
about
after what they
the work,
sacrificed to build this country.
exactly the work they put into, to build Liberia. And, it seemed like Liberia is one of those incredible countries, brother, that we have forgotten about, or the world, or even Africa has forgotten about. So you're not going to get into where we're going to talk about the importance of Liberia, the incredible connections that you're going to be able to be a part of on that experience. And when we talk about experience, and when we travel into different countries, it's more than just tours around the country. We're looking to build a future. So my brother also going to get into the importance of land, and why we need to establish certain foundations for those of us as a people, as far as stolen Africans or Africans in the diaspora, returning to the home of our ancestors. So family, what I want to do is, let me just give you a brief little view. Right. So Kala, hopefully you can see this real
Yeah,
good.
I can see it.
So family, this is a full tour package that includes your flights from the USA, and we're going to connect you from New York JFK on Royal Air Maroc, from JFK Airport to Monrovia, and that's going to be via Casablanca, Morocco. And once we're there in the country, let me just get, all right, there we go. So get me a better view. And once you're there in the country, we're literally going to have a full setup of tourism. So we have a business and investment conference / networking. So the goal is to get more into business, more into investment, and more into how we can, build the energy to where we can just really just be a part of the future of a country that we know is going to rise. And we want to make sure that we as African people, whether we're on the continent or whether we're in the diaspora, put our energy together to be the investors of the future of Africa. And because what we have seen, and we're going to also talk about that, we've seen more foreigners than anything else investing and developing the African continent. And all of our tours cover the full transportation and tours around Liberia, daily continental breakfast and gourmet dinner, 4-star hotel accommodations, and we're staying at Condaja Resort, and that's Mr. BT himself, Bob Johnson. So when we talk about this is a Black African empowerment itinerary, we're literally just taking it to that level. So those of us that's traveling with us from the African diaspora, or was born in America, you'll be able to just have that connection right there. And that's what we do on all of our journeys. We want to show our people what we're doing in Africa, our levels of investment, the networking that we're doing, And that's one of the best things about what we have set up as far as Africa for the Africans. You're going to really just connect to your own people as far as what we're doing, our own people, whether they're from the diaspora or whether they're in that local country, which is Liberia, as we're speaking about. So definitely want to make sure that we're clear on the goals. So we want to let people know that, yes, you're going to have a nice, incredible journey around the country. It's going to be fun-filled and adventurous, but also, we're going to be pushing it for the future, because we have to think about our children. What are we going to establish and have them to work on or build upon? Or are we just going to leave them prey to just be slaves for the for the world nations who are building the corporations and enterprising? Right. So more networking and social gathering, entrance and access to all sites and activities, certified English speaking tour guide and host, daily exercise and meditation sessions. All right, so in order to see a full flow of exactly what we're doing, what we have to do is literally show you the details on the website. So, Carla, what I'm going to do is just go through some of the information from the website. Because I always want to let everyone know that, we have everything documented and well organized so you can view it to the highest level. All right, so that don't look good. Let me stop that right there. All right, perfect. So there we go. All right, so my brother, hopefully you can see that nice and well bright. So family, that is the page. Once you're on our website, africafortheafricans.org, you're going to go down from the main menu, and then you're going to click on Liberia Reconnection and Investment Tour, July 2023. And these are a list of articles that we have, and this is all to get you clear and prepared. That way you can just make a commitment based on clarity. Tour overview, itinerary, general terms, visa process, improving your immune system, and departure reminder list. All right, this is a tour overview, live and direct family. So prices, and as we talk about what's included, and then you look further down, and not included is lunch, group tips, and camera/camcorder fees at sites, if there's any. Liberia visa of $160 for 12 months, multiple entry. Color, hopefully you can see this nice little highlights after this, as we're going to go through this and talk about some of these sites. All right, so there we go. You can see the perfect full screen. So family, that's the link right there. Kendeja Resort, and that is an African diaspora, African American business established there in Liberia. And we're going to also talk more about supporting Black-owned business and what we see Liberia more of, which is pushing more Black-owned business and less foreign operation. So, brother, let's start from the top on this 9-day tour highlight. And also, family, this tour highlight is just an overview. We have a full, literally day-to-day schedule when you click on itinerary. All right, so brother Kala, I had an image up earlier. It was of Providence Island, and I was going to start that off earlier. Since we have Providence Island, and it's in 1822 settlement, so that's basically 200 years ago.
200 years when they first returning African pilgrims basically resettled in Africa. Well, the beauty about this is that these were Africans returning to the African soil. These weren't Europeans or whatever like that They had 200 years in America, in the West, okay? And 200 years, they will say it was about 60% African retention culture, right? As you could see evidence if you go to the rural South, right? You can see a lot of African retention culture. When you leave black people alone outside of ratchet hip hop, stuff like that, and you go to the black churches and you go to fish fries and everything, there's not much difference between Africans, the black people in America, and black people you're gonna find in Liberia and West Africa. It's not a whole lot of difference, you know. And it's like people say, "Oh, it's so different." No, the same thing, you know. Respect for your uncles, respect for your auntie, you know. Same things we have, things, same beats, same rhythm, same praise and worship in church and whatnot. You know how we act in church and whatnot. We praise and shout. You know, there's a whole lot of connection. The same foods and everything like that. And Liberia is especially unique because not only does the foods and everything so similar to Black American food, we also have African American cuisine over in Liberia, mixed with African dishes. You know, so it's a fusion culture. And people always say, you know, oh yes, so the biggest impediment we have in the Black race right now is tribalism and ethno-jingoism, right? We're coming from a Pan-Africanist culture, which is naturally a fusion culture. Fusion means that, okay, you may have been in Barbados, but we're around each other. I'm part Barbados, you're part African American. We're all one people. You know, I borrow from you, you borrow from me. I got cousins who's part from the Bahamas and Jamaica and places like that, you know. And when they come to family gatherings, you know, they'll tell you some things are going. But the bottom line is, we're all, as my mother's old friend say, we're all black people. You know, we're all black people. You're black. You know, Caribbeans are big on that, you know. And so when you go to Liberia, you know, it's not going to be that culture shock that you find if you go to other African countries where they may call you a Bruni, you know, like that. They understand who you are. They know who you are, you know. There are a lot of Liberians grew up watching African American television, literature, and stuff like this, so they know who you are. And they know, like I said, they know about their African side, right? And they know about their Black African American heritage. And now Liberia, the beautiful part about this now is Liberia is now starting to fully embrace their thing. When you say they don't consider the people that came from America a separate group anymore, they'll say our ancestors that came from America. So what they're doing is taking ownership of their entire history. That's why the 1820 celebration is going on right now. 1822 celebration is going on right now because people are saying, you know something, this is a rich history. This ties us to the civil rights movement, ties us to slavery. Liberia is now trying to implement Juneteenth as a holiday, you know? So the connection to Black America is immense. Now people say, well, why is this so important? Because right now we don't have a real legitimate foothold on the continent. I'm sorry, we don't. You know, Liberia can be that place. I'm not saying Liberia is a be all end all, but I believe if you're going to engage Africa, right, you need a strong country where we got settlements, we got communities, we got banks, we got all these things that we could put our foot down and plant roots and be thing. Because we cannot keep engaging Africa across the Atlantic. We have to be on the continent, you know, and building in countries like Liberia will be ideal because, you know, it will give us access to the whole entire continent. Can you imagine? In my organization, the Black African Infrastructure Organization, we got chapters in the country, and my dream is to have Liberia as like the headquarters of the BAO, where people from different parts of the continent can come and engage with people who represent us. We need that. We need communities on the continent, not just to go over there and sit under this tree and straighten my tie. We need people that's organized, that's consultants that can give us information, that can network for us on the continent. We should be everywhere in the system. And those people that settle in Liberia, get that, you know, we want people that's from the diaspora. If you want to live there and build a home and everything like that, if you're in a position to do it, not everybody's in a position to do it. But if you're retired or something like that, and you got a good pension coming in and you got money coming in and everything like that, instead of going to Belize and retire, consider Liberia, consider Sierra Leone, consider these countries. Why? And not only that, when you go there, right, it's very important that you don't be selfish, right? That you network, that you have a duty and responsibility. You understand that, yeah, you're going to blend in with the local people, but it's not going to work unless you're helping other people get established over there. You know, somebody should be able to go to you if you're living on the decide to live there and say, you know something, I like to buy property. Who do I talk to? Who do I network? I like the home bill. Who can you trust and everything? We should have those networks established over there. I want to contribute to schools and everything. Who can I go to? You know, I want to invest in business. How do I get all this stuff done? What do you need? A thing. You know, I want to import Liberian goods back into the States. You know, I want to export goods from America to Liberia. Right? Who do I talk to? That's what establishing a foundation in a country where people are networked and everything. And then you'll see all these things happen for our thing. Then, you know, then can you imagine us having our own office buildings and stuff like that? Our own everything, our own logistics and everything on the continent, you know, our warehouses where we're established, where we're just doing things naturally. You know, imagine that our own building our medical facilities for the local population ourselves and everything. That's what building infrastructure is all about. And we can do that. And they say, what's the point of that? The point of it is that once you're on the continent, right, then you could basically engage the rest of the continent. Because the whole thing is, well, we want like Liberia was supposed to be that country. There was a Pan-African building. When you go to Liberia, you go drive past and go to a place called the Pan-African Plaza. And folks, and the bottom line is this, right? The black man in America and the West have to stand and start acting like cowards. What the white man did to destroy Liberia is unforgivable. You know, I can't forgive slavery. But when we made an honest attempt to pull ourselves out of the muck and everything, and then we want to build a Pan-African Plaza, the African Development Bank was supposed to be headquarters in Monrovia. And that 1980 coup destroyed everything. It also destroyed the original OAU. The OAU was supposed to be the preemptive organization on the continent. That means when the OAU was, after they reached all these benchmarks, right? By 1990, all these African countries, instead of being part of the French Union, the European Union, the British Commonwealth, the African Union was going to, and even the UN, the African organ was going to be the preemptive thing, the preemptive military, the preemptive currency, one currency for the continent. You know, railways and highways connecting the continent to cities together and everything. Technology pools where people in one country could study in one, work in one country, visa free because if Kenya's producing more engineers than they need, well, Ivory Coast might need some engineers to live over there. But tribalism and petty nationalism and stuff like that is what's impeding all that. Now you ask yourself, where did this mind come from? It comes from the black people from the West. The black people from the West are the ones that brought Pan-African to the continent. You know, it was not on the continent already, right? And the whole thing is Pan-African is competing with a power. For example, Nigeria outright rejected earlier this year's Pan-Africanism. They said, no, that don't work and everything. Well, how could they do that? Because Nigeria went through a bloody Biafra war where 3 million people were killed. You know, because the Biafrans wanted to separate from this invented republic called Nigeria that the British invented. They said like this. But now, even now that like there's people, this IPOB want to succeed from Nigeria and everything like that. They got adulterers and want to succeed. You got Boko Haram in the north trying to create an Islamic caliphate and stuff like this. But the whole thing is the model for a black state, which different ethnicities of black people work together, was Liberia. And so that's why the West had to get rid of that. So the whole thing in the West is Africans can never build a government because they're too tribal. You know, they always need white people there and everything like that. And Liberia showed that that was a lie, that black people can like that. So in other words, basically what I'm saying is this. The white man created the concept of race and color, you know, and he did that not because of any altruism. He did that because he wanted to oppress and exploit people and justify that by this idea of racial hierarchy, which is white races on top and everything. The black man has never tried to oppress nobody because of their color. We didn't see ourselves by color. We see ourselves by our conscience. But unfortunately, and some Africans think they can go back to that. It doesn't work like that. In this world, you are seen as black. You know, you're seen as black. You're part of the black, you know, you're part of the black race, whether you like it or not. You could talk all this, well, we're all one humanity. That one humanity has not worked yet. You know, tell me what one humanity when you got one group of people with all the money, power, and wealth and nuclear weapons, and you got nothing. So we got to stop acting like fools. You know, we're the black race is tied together. whether you want to or not. And so, therefore, I don't want people to think Pan-Africanism is emotion and feel good. We can have a feel good moment, but we have to be Pan-African as far as our survival and business. It's all right to be emotional and, oh yeah, we're all black power and everything. But if you're doing all your deals with white people, Indians and Chinese and everything, and then come to me with a black power, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that there's contracts and set aside for African governments are getting African American contractors those contracts that we're getting proper bids on contracts. From what I hear, there's an African American firm building a contract to build an airport wing in Sierra Leone. That's progress. We have African American contractors that could do all these things in America, right? But the thing is, though, because these countries are financed by their home countries, right? They have an advantage over us. We don't have anybody backing us in America politically. All our political capital and power goes to getting Democrats elected. The Democrats' priority right now is transitioning young boys into young girls. That's their priority. Abortion, okay. Open borders for America, flow across the border, and all this kind of social justice stuff. And so therefore, so I asked a question, right? If black people want something to vote on, wouldn't a Pan-African be a thing? And then you got to understand something. We as black people, right? When, like I said, I do believe that we all got behind Bob Johnson when he was going to build a hotel. We was all proud. Oh yeah, African American doing that. But there's too many negative people in our culture. Oh, what does that do for me? Oh, this is what I'm talking about, Bomani. What does that do for me? Bomani becomes a multi-millionaire tourist operation. What does that do for me? That's that nigga. That nigga mentality, right, has to go. Okay? And then what it is these same people will work for the white man their whole life. The white man don't pass them up for promotion. Hey, Mr. Charlie. But a black man, we try to do one thing when, oh man, I tried to work for that dude, man. He didn't give me whatever. And you go badmouth him, and I would never work for a black man again. But you go work for a white man, no matter what he does for you. White man fire you unjustly, you're going to go and apply an application at another white company. Black man does something to you one night, you want to basically, let's throw out the baby with the bathwater. This is because you are comfortable in America. You're comfortable under white supremacy and white domination, and you don't think anything. So what I'm saying is this. If we basically build these Pan-African networks and stuff like that, right, we recognize that there are black people that are going to rise, the cream rise to the top, right? I fully expect Brother Bomani to be a multi-millionaire in a couple of years, doing his tourism and investment business and stuff like that. We have to get behind that. Why? Because when he wins, we win. When Dinah Samir wins, we win. When Brother Brandon wins, Pan-African Strikes Back win, we win. But if we basically all about short-term gain and pettiness and everything, we're never going to win together. But you look at the Indians and all these other people, they are together. The Indian family, basically, when an Indian business in this country, in these countries, they don't have to tell the Indian community there to support that business. They automatically do it. It's duty. And why do they do that? Because they understand the Indians and they got to stick together, right? We black people from the diaspora have to stick together on the continent. We have to build on the continent, and we have to basically bring African allies on the continent. Realize that there's people, Africans on the continent, who don't understand what we're doing, who never probably understand what we're doing, And so we can't be impediment for that because we basically know that we didn't leave Africa voluntarily. This is the thing I don't understand. We didn't leave Africa voluntarily, right? So we have a right to return, and nobody has a right to talk about that. When I was in Liberia, there was nobody ever told me that I didn't have a right to be there. They only said that we don't understand why there are more of you over here. They said, well, this country was established by black people from America and the West. Why aren't you guys over here? But, and I'm not to throw shade at any other African country. You keep getting your head kicked in when all these countries promise you this, promise you that, and everything like that, and you still going like that. But you got a country, well, Liberia has all these problems. Well, with this problems is opportunity. There's problems is opportunity. That's where the way the Europeans see things and whatnot. You'll say, "Oh yeah, see that undeveloped coastline, who wants to go there?" Next thing you know, there's hotels, there's development and stuff like that, and then they're like, "Well, geez, that was just nothing." And then you want to go there where the Europeans and the white people are, and you want to be beg them for jobs and be a part of what they're building. But when you have a chance to build something of your own, you could have first dibs on everything. But how would that work if our whole culture is centered around trying to change white people and change the white world? Where we never had the culture of let's build a black world and stuff like this. We feel we have this duty to integrate the world and make the world a kumbaya place and everything. In the meantime, the world's passing us by, and it seems what appears is apparent. Apparently, what appears is apparent. What is apparent as it appears is that the world really don't care about black people anymore. Unless they want to exploit us. So no one cares anymore that, oh yeah, we Martin Luther King. They don't care about Martin Luther King anymore. That's the past. They don't care about that no more. They don't care. They don't want you in the neighborhoods. They don't want you in the schools. They don't care about that. And so okay, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. But when we go to Africa, right here, we got the same white people that you think you're escaping from. They're over there trying to undermine what we're doing on the continent, putting ideas into the local. There's a reason why when you see negativity towards us, the white man does that intentionally. He spreads negativity about us and everything like that. He undervalues and diminishes the strength of black people or what we could, our potential and everything, and make it seem like we're just a bunch of deadbeats and everything. That these Africa, they don't want your. That's a sentiment in a lot of places in Africa. And then when we do go over there and they see what we're capable of, like you see my brother Mark Blanton in South Africa, he's doing great things. He's building people, bringing people over, doing tours and investments in real estate, people buying houses and everything like that. And they're like, wow, that's the level we have to step this up to. We have to bring our own real estate investors. We have to bring our own development. We have to bring our own capital. We have to establish our own banks. We have to do that like that. Now, I say Liberia because Liberia basically has land laws similar to the United States. Okay, in other words, basically, if you own land in Liberia, you don't have to pay a chief. You don't have to pay anything like that. Once you have land, it's yours. It's title deed, it's yours. So you don't have to worry about leasing. You actually own the property. And many Liberians are figuring out now that, oh, wow, these people that established Liberia did a good thing because in other countries in Africa, you can't own land. The state owns the land, or the chief owns the land, whatever like that. And with that, you can't use the land as collateral, okay, to do like that. And why is collateral important? Because collateral is important because we have to get to the point where we're like Southern Africa, when you want to build a house, you don't go there and, I want to build a house from the ground. You save it for 10 years. You simply go to the bank, you buy the property, you get a mortgage, right? You put 10% down, whatever, and you get a mortgage. Your house is built, it's done. You pay the mortgage payments. After you build equity in the house, you can refinance it. You can buy another house, right? Pay the first one off. Okay, we have to get back into that and everything, and basically that. And also, we have to get to the point where we have trust funds, wills, and other financial things, holding stocks, bonds, real estate. I'm looking for one day Liberia will have its own stock exchange market and own bond markets. Can you imagine us with our power in America that we sit on school boards, we sit on pension fund boards and everything. We got billions of dollars in pension. And we say, something, we want some of our pension funds to invest and to buy Liberian stocks, bonds. And we're helping, and we're able to raise the capital to build roads and power grids and stuff like this. And then we're an integral part of the country, same way the Jews are with the state of Israel. So this is what we're talking about. This is what we talk about when I say an African, an African American diaspora homeland. It doesn't necessarily mean a nation state. It just means territory or municipalities, towns, or enclaves that we basically develop. And we have a commonwealth. We have a place of refuge, which we control and stuff like that. We need that. We need permanent settlement. We could build schools and we could pay for ourselves because we have our own tax base. And so therefore, I believe that Liberia is that place that could happen. And then once that model is established, right, other countries will be like, whoa, geez, look at all this capital that's flowing into Liberia. Wonder why? Because the black people in the West are settling there. There's a lot of black people who do want to leave the United States. but they're not going to go someplace that's in chaos, and they're not going to. I wouldn't send them there. But if we're organized on the continent, we have businesses established, right? We have trading companies, we have all these things like that. We have farms, and we're investing stuff. We have credit, and we have all this stuff like that. We have medical facilities. We have all these things that we built. Then people can live on the continent year round, forever. So that's what I want to say about that, starting off.
Yes, brother Kala. Yes, absolutely. Appreciate your energy, brother. That is it, family. So, family, that's a foundation that we're introducing to you. So it's more than just a tour and tourism. It's our introduction and reconnection into an incredible African country that was built for us by us as a people, stolen Africans returning. So, as built experience in this business as far as tourism and taking hundreds of people to Africa. It's time for us to just use more of our energy. Like my brother Kala talking about, just connect to Liberia. It's the future, because I listen to all the things you talk about, brother. And you talk about the vision. You talk about all the things are in place. It just need our energy.
Right.
So
everything that you need to build in Africa, like I said, and the beauty about this is, right, this is like, I can't stress this enough. We need a beachhead on the continent, a strong beachhead, in each region of the continent. We need a freaking beachhead in Southern Africa, Liberia, West Africa, Ghana, and all these other countries. A beachhead that we basically can operate throughout the continent, because we cannot keep operating in America, like we need to have people established over on the continent, that's doing the work for us on the continent. Can you imagine us having our own consulting companies and everything, our own offices and everything like that? Yeah, our people over in Monrovia can guide you around and everything like that. We're gonna bring some investors over and stuff like that. Imagine that. Imagine, like I said, there's people in countries like Guinea. These countries have no connections to Black America, but they want connections to Black America, right? So therefore, like, they could come to Liberia, Monrovia, and be like, okay, yeah, there's a Black community established over here and everything, so they can get the ins and outs of what it takes to get politically connected, economically and socially connected to Black people from the West. And we need to do that, and not just America. You got Black people from Trinidad. You got a brother, Elijah, just joined the BAL organization, and I think he's from the Caribbean, and he's basically like, yeah, we need these connections on the continent, connect. He said he got people on the ground too. He wants to connect with us, and that's why I said our social network, the BAO, is an excellent place to connect with Brother Bomani and other people, and bring in all these people together and say, look, we need to do this. The next phase. Once we have the groundswell, folks, once we have the people, the laymen and people involved in everything, I do believe like the Black investment class will follow us. They say, oh, this is serious, because this is not going anywhere. When we first started, I remember a couple of years ago, people were like, y'all ain't going to Africa. It was a joke. Remember that? They thought it was a joke. Hee hee ha ha ha. They ain't laughing no more, They're not laughing anymore. You got to go Black to Africa, go Black out there. You got the African nomads, and you got all these other people that's on the continent and doing stuff like that. They're not laughing anymore. The world's gotten smaller. Black America, this idea of African Americans and diasporas in Africa is not a novelty anymore. It's reality. And what I'm seeing right now, the numbers that's going to the continent every day, is growing, But the thing is, though, here's the thing. The mainstream media is ignoring this. Okay, they're ignoring this. Why? Because they think it's going to stop. They think they think we're going to go back to we shall overcome Negroes. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, I saw Al Sharpton with the holding hands in his national singing "We Shall Overcome." I thought that was dead in the water. We shall overcome. And I seen these Negroes holding hand and whatnot. That's what they really want for us. Us to sit around in America complaining about racism, white supremacy, and everything. It's all about, folks. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Not what somebody thinks you need or whatever you should have. What do you want? Like that? What burns in my soul is I want a black sovereign nation, strong and proud and powerful and everything, that I could basically say, you know something, when I'm tired of America, I can get the hell out of here when I want to. And therefore, and then I want to focus on other things, you know. Once that's a bit, right now, America and trying to fit in America is nothing but bondage. Okay, America is nothing but bondage. No matter how much money you have in America, you are never going to be white. You're never going to be like this. You're going to, no human being should be talking about racism, discrimination, and stuff like this. That's not what human beings are built for. In fact, if you notice the Chinese, Bomani, do you ever see the Chinese out there talking like, what are they doing in Chinatown? Making money. You know, they're going from one Chinatown to another around the world, making money and everything. The world,
Yes, enterprising, absolutely.
they're doing all that stuff like that. Who are the only group of people sitting around waiting about talking about elections, waiting for get out the vote and all stuff like that? All this stupid shit. We need police reform. Who's the only group of people? Black people. Because we bought into this idea that this is what we're always supposed to do. Now, I'm saying to myself, can you imagine if we put our efforts into building our African ancestral homeland, you know, and black people go over there, become millionaires and billionaires and everything? The country of Uganda just discovered 35 million metric tons of gold. And President Museveni, he may be a clown and everything, but he said not one drop is ever going to leave Uganda. Now, that's going to be interesting because I know that there's wars going on in the Congo and spilling over into Rwanda and Uganda. So I don't know how it's going to play out, but that's what he said. You know, bottom line, that's enough gold right there. That's a world biggest gold supply, and it's pure gold. It's not ore gold. Like you have to wash it and everything like down and get like one drop. You know what? You ever see these white guys on a thing called the Barons, something like that, and they gold rush, whatever, and they be going to the Arctic and whatnot, drinking for gold. They be down there as 30 below zero gold, and they get one little, oh, we got it. And one little speck of gold comes out, and they think they did something. This thing is an open ore pit of solid gold. They said valued at $100 trillion. So I'm saying to myself, and I know Rwanda has built the gold refineries now. They're refining gold and making gold bullion. And when you make gold, you could print money against it and back it. Or you could, if you have crypto currency, you can sell it in cryptocurrency and everything. And it's backed by gold in a gold bullion bank. That's what we have in Angola right now with the gold bullion bank. And we have it in the Congo, you know. So the future looks bright if we get ourselves together and get involved, you know, on the continent. And I do believe in order for us to take advantage of this, right, and be part of this, we have to have a country, right, where we can open businesses. I'm incorporated in Liberia right now. You know, I'm incorporated in Liberia right now. The BAO corporation is in Liberia right now. So I'm in a position to take advantage of stuff like this, you know. And so once you basically go to the continent, we need that one country that's a safe haven. We need that one country where we can store, collect wealth. We need that one country where we have security. And that's very important too. We have to have our own security. Those guys who are into security, we need our own, like Wells Fargo. You know what I'm talking about, Brian? Wells Fargo, how they handle money and stuff like that, you know, and Pinkerton and all stuff like that. We need stuff like that.
Absolutely,
We need guys with guns and
our own enterprise and entities and empire.
we need that, you know, wherever we have on the continent, we need to have our own districts and places like that we hold, where our wealth is, where our money's at, where our own business are and stuff like that, where we're on the continent. And also, people say, are you separating? No, we have to establish an infrastructure first, right? And then we can integrate into African society from a position of strength. We can't just go over there with empty pockets, you know, talking about I want to integrate in Africa. The Africans don't need you, you know. But can you imagine if black people from America, right, start transferring their wealth and money, and we have our own black banks or whatnot, you know? You say all these black banks, I don't know what they're waiting for to establish offices in Africa, you know? Can you imagine us establishing money and in Africa, we're not billions of dollars that will flow through the continent, you know, that we could we loan governments and stuff like that our money, and we get a return on it and stuff like that. Can you imagine if the governments of these countries repay us back in crypto or gold back bullion and stuff like that? I mean, it's endless. Like I said, no system, right? White supremacy, you can talk all you want. There's no system in the world that's invincible. Every time there's a system you think is oppressing you, there's always weaknesses. I study martial arts, right? Any type of, if I deal with any type of fighter, whatever like that I think is invincible, there's always inherent weaknesses. There's always something that you, oh yeah, there's where he's vulnerable. There's where you can get him. That's where he does wrong. He overextends himself right there. You know, there's anything. The only people that's convinced that the white man is, oh, look at the Mexicans, right? The United States, where the United States of America, they're bum rushing the border right now, saying, "What are you going to do about it?" You know, they just Mexican, just Guatemala. There's a caravan right now of like 50,000 on their way to the United States right now. You know, these motherfuckers don't care about the rules. Only people that want to obey the white man's rules is the black people. You know, these people, brother Bomani, they're just like, yo, man, we're just coming over here. We're gonna take the jobs. They're telling you, these motherfuckers being down in El Salvador said, yeah, man, when I get to America, man, we're gonna. I said, damn, you haven't got there yet. You already talking about how you gonna take shit over. You know, and I thought this is supposed to be some big superpower, Bomani. Am I missing something here? No, we can't do nothing. They're streaming across the border. Yeah, they figured out.
Brother, these are the replacements for you and I.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The bottom line is they say, okay, the only thing we're gonna replace is black people, you know. And so the bottom line, this is what you have, bro. When you have millions of people trying to come across the border illegally, that means they're trying to be your replacement, not just economically, but socially.
That's
you're gonna start seeing right now. There was a Disney Marvel character that was a Latina, whatever, like that. I think it's outright. They're already basically moving this the goalposts. Like, damn, man, we got all these Latinos here and everything like that, so they got to cater to them. So pretty soon, I remember I was watching this thing with the Hunger Games. This is how sad black people are, right? They're like, I didn't know what the fucking Hunger Games were. That's some white people shit, you know? You see that shit, the white people shit, you know? Because they Harry Potter. They don't give a fuck about Harry Potter. Where was a nerdy looking white boy? I don't give a shit about that, right? Black people. There ain't no black characters in Hunger Games. There's no black characters, blah, 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 blah. What do you care? As a black people, we got to have a black representation in the Hunger Games. We need black. The TV show Friends, right? I think they brought Aisha Tyler in, right? They're like, how do you have a black show and you're in New York City and you have no black friends? Who the fuck? I'm like, is that fucking important? So I think they brought Aisha Tyler in, a comedian to be in one season, whatever like that. Okay, we got to bring introduce a black character. Then I remember I was sitting and watching that, and they're all sitting down like, yes, Matthew Perry, we need more diversity. We need more black people. And I'm saying to myself, how come nobody asked me that shit? I don't give a fuck about your TV show. And I'm like, what the hell does having a black character do for me? I'm like, if y'all want to have a white show, why don't you have a black show with all black people in New York doing their thing in Harlem and going out in the new black night? You know what I'm saying? Show me that. But that's what I'm saying. But now white people really don't care about black people, so like that, because it's like they got all these other groups of people they call POC. See, the whole thing is this. They say POC means people of color. So that includes, so that you can have somebody with one drop of Asian, one drop of Mexican, one drop of black, and everything like that. And that's a new representation of POC. So they don't mean black anymore. It means person of color. That satisfies everybody. Oh, black blood. Yeah, but yeah, I feel represented. She got 2% black blood. Yeah, man, we're making progress. That's what Negroes do. Negroes do. They could satisfy with tokenism. And then when people like us ain't satisfied with tokenism, we want more. They act like we're being difficult. We're being black supremacists. We're being separatists. No, I don't want your tokenism. Just token shit, And so, like I said, with Africa, we have a chance to have the whole damn thing. And I want the whole damn thing. I want it all. I want no piece. Don't give me no piece of crumbs and everything. I want the whole damn pie. I want to take the whole goddamn thing. I believe Africa belongs to us. I really believe that. I don't just say that. I really believe Africa belongs to us. I believe those oil fields in Nigeria should be nationalized. I believe those diamond mines in South Africa should be nationalized. I believe we should take that shit back. I believe we should throw the white people out of Zimbabwe. Cruise that makes sound. People say, "Oh, you're black." Look, the bottom line is this, right? If you're white in Africa, right? Unless you're there as some humanitarian thing, and unless you're there on vacation, spending all your money, $10,000 or more, whatever like that, you got nothing to say to me, you know? Because I'm feeling like this, you don't belong here unless you're spending money, unless you're doing something good, whatever like that, you know. And I'll say, okay, there's the good white folks, they're sacrificing everything like that, and they're spending a lot of money. Man, look at that couple, man. They spent like $50,000 in our resort. Yeah, shit, you know, okay. But if you're not doing that right there, and you're just coming there to grab and take over and dominate, there's going to be a problem. And the bottom line is this: the white people in Zimbabwe do not belong there. As simple as that. The white people in South Africa, okay, you're a little more settled, right? But shut the fuck up or not. You own 80% of the land and everything. That has to change, you know? You own most of the stock market. That has to change, you know? And this is what's going to happen in the future. We have to do this. We cannot go another generation which people on the African continent don't have any capital to develop and everything because all the white people on the capital flight. Africa has $100 billion a year worth of capital flight, Brother Bomani, capital flight. That means despite all this so-called investments, so-called aid, so-called Africa rising, and all that kind of bullshit, right? $100 billion net loss leaves the continent. You know, $100 billion. Why? Because instead of Ghana and Nigeria putting their stupid petty differences aside and everything and say, you know, something, Ghana says, I'm going to use Nigerian supply chains, Nigerian contracts and everything. And Nigeria say, I'm going to use Ghanaian and stuff like that. That would keep some of the money on shore. But Ghana and Nigeria can't even get together and form a shipping line, right? Where if they're going to import, at least you go and bring the stuff in, and then you save hundreds of millions of dollars a year on shipping costs that you're losing because you use foreign ships, and they ship to you on their manifest when they want to like that. See, there's a whole lot, man. And besides from the fact that we'll be on the continent, right? The mindset of African Americans and this radical Pan-Africans that we bring and everything like that, it's only radical to the people that we're going to take power from, right? But it's not radical, it's just common sense. It's just common. I don't want to say we're radical. I'm going to say when a black man has common sense, right, and just talks about his own dignity and everything, he's called a radical. Oh, you're extremist. What's so extreme about the fact that you're European, we're black African, we're not. Africa is our home, Europe is your home, and you don't belong here unless we invite you here for a specific purpose. You know, that's not extreme. You know, the only is that little ass with black people, oh, little Asians so little. The Asians knocked the white man upside the head, you know. Pearl Harbor, man. They're saying, yeah, these little Japanese, when little Japanese fought them, you know, little Japanese took it to them, you know, on Okinawa, Iwo Jima, and all these other places. Well, you know, the Japanese took it to their white asses, you know, and they got respect for the Japanese. The black man has never fought a war for his own freedom. Even right now, the African militaries are not designed for warfare for the outside. There's no African nuclear weapons. There's no African nuclear seals. We're just a sitting duck. If they want to hit us with a nuclear bomb, there's nothing we can do. We don't even think about that. African militaries are designed to protect European interests in Africa. There is no place in Africa I would call an African, where there's African American, African diaspora, a Pan-Africanist state, right? That sole purpose is to protect the people and interest and interest in that state. There's no such thing in Africa right now. Right now, most of the infrastructure in Africa is done by foreigners and Europeans. The railways, you know, the skyways, even the freaking planes and everything are mostly done by Europeans and Arabs and everybody else. And so therefore, we basically sit back and do nothing. You know, if you want to ship to one African country to another, you got to use their shipping lines. You got ships and everything. There's no African shipping lines, you know. There's no African steel. If you want to build something in Africa, you got to buy your steel for the most part from China, you know, and European, the Netherlands, and all these other people, the industrialized countries and everything. There's no African countries that is committed to creating steel. And how are you going to build a modern world, Brother Bomani, without steel? You know, and Africa has plenty of iron ore. But steel takes a lot of money and stuff like that. I was watching this one documentary. I think I sent it to you, bro. It was about the opening of a steel mill in Japan. It was like the year was like 1948, right? You got to see this documentary. Oh my God, the Japanese built the steel mill. First of all, they used reclaimed island or land reclamation. So in other words, it was built on reclaimed land from the bottom. They had to bring soil like they did the Lagos, you know, in Dubai. Land reclamation. They created the land, right? Once the land was created, immediately they started building steel. They had to dig really down to the bedrock, right? And they had to put the steel plant in the steel mill harness thing way down there, hundreds of feet deep, right? Once it gets to the bedrock, then they bolt it in and stuff like that. And the way they built that thing, this was Japanese, and I saw all Japanese, no Europeans build this thing from ever. They had to build the blast furnaces and everything like that. And then when there was the beauty about this was they said they're going to build 10 more steel mills like this, right? And this steel mill is going to operate 7 days a week, 365 days a year, right? Nonstop, 7 days a week, or 24 hours a day, producing steel, right? And then when the first steel rolled down the thing, they said, okay, yes. When they finally got done, the Japanese Shinto priests blessed the steel mills, and you see all Japanese writing names. So it was a modern state, right? With Japanese writing and everything, Japanese spirits, right? The Shinto spirits to bless the steel mills for longevity. Matter of fact, this one steel mill was in one of the Godzilla movies, right? And the thing, I saw that on Godzilla. I said, that's that steel mill that they built in the thing. So they used it, they used that in the thing. The boy would say, hey, there's a steel mill over there. My dad works over there. And they used the steel mill in a Godzilla movie. The Japanese were proud of the fact that they were going to produce most of the steel in Asia. Hong Kong was lined up to buy steel. China, mainland China, was going to buy steel from them. Even Australia, all sorts of Asia. Japan was going to be the main steel producer for the reason. And Japan had a huge domestic market because they were going to buy steel because they developed their own automobile industry. So steel was essential, right? And not just locally, but regionally. And then later on, Japan started exporting steel to the United States. But the thing is, they built like 15 steel mills like this, I'm saying to myself, and then this kills me, they were still recovering from the atom bomb in Hiroshima, and they still managed to do this. So I asked the question, what is wrong with our race that we cannot do this stuff? Why? Because I'm going to tell you why, right? And a lot of people are going to get mad when I'm saying this. When I see my brothers and sisters in Africa, right, they think having a degree, but they can't build nothing, and they take pride in that. They call it, man, you're throwing shots. Look, I got to tell it like it is. I love my people and everything, but we can't keep going the way we're going. There's no excuse why Africa is not industrialized. There's no reason why. And the bottom line is this: unless you're going to give up your cars and your stuff because you're importing steel. You're importing all these things to build your roads, bridges, and stuff like this, that you use, your appliances and everything. All that come from someplace, it's supply from someplace, the aluminum, everything. But the thing is, Guinea produces a good portion of the world's bauxite, but it has no aluminum. It produces no aluminum. They don't make aluminum products, right? If we do make something, we should have finished products, right? And that's what South Africa did, right? When they found platinum, they built what they call allied industries, multiplier effects. They create jobs in their stock market and everything like that booms. Africa is still at the point where not only though we don't produce the stuff, we let foreigners produce the raw material and take it out and tell us what they think it's worth. This is the problem. So, like I said, our mindset is not just investing. Our mindset of what we think Africa should be. We have to have that one country that's the pinnacle and says, okay, yeah, black people. So when they hear the Pan-African talk, we're not sitting in the United States. We're on the continent, and I'm disappointed that a lot of people that live on the continent don't talk like this. They go to Africa and they say, oh yeah, just Living Single was a good show. Living Single. But Living Single was a good show. That's what I said. What's the point of being on Friends and everything like that? Living Single. I don't know what it is. Friends was like, these people were like professional, and Living Single were professional too, right? I guess that too. But the thing is, they were like trendy and stuff like that, and black people like they want to be part of it. Living Single wasn't good, and they had to show girlfriends. They were all professionals. Wasn't that was not good enough for black people? They want to be part of Friends. Why we don't know black people on Steinfeld? I just don't get it. But back to what I'm talking about, man. The bottom line is this: those who listen to me, those who listen to what I'm saying right here, we have to change our mindset. This laziness in the black race has to stop. And our ancestors who built Liberia, they were anything but lazy, you know. Called black people, plenty of blacks for their own freedom. I mean, okay, but we're not free. You know, that's the whole thing. We're not free right now. People say freedom. What freedom? You know, Haiti. I mean, Haiti's okay, but Haiti is still paying reparations to France and Britain. You know, come on. Haiti's the poorest country in the hemisphere. They were gallant and everything like that, but Haiti had a chance to connect with Black America and they rejected. When the what's it called, Papa Docs and all these people, they didn't want no black people from America coming over there because they was only thinking about themselves. You know, Haiti, I give them a lot of credit for what they did and everything, but the whole thing is the country's not free. You have to, brother mine, you have black people. We like taking credit for. Oh, we fought. But what are you doing right now? If you fought and everything, and you say you fought, and the foreigners still have what they came there for, did you really win? You know, we like giving ourselves credit and whatnot. You know, and I ask ourselves this: why is Haiti, a black country, right, under these sanctions? Why haven't all the black countries in the French thing say, you know something, you're gonna not only you're gonna stop with your bullying of Haiti and everything, we're gonna nationalize every French asset on the continent. And I know it's dangerous me saying this, right? We're gonna nationalize every French, and this is why the language is so important, right? French Africa people are never gonna hear stuff like this because there's a language barrier. Another thing about Liberia, it's an English speaking country. You'll say, oh, no, we're like generations off from an African language being lingua franca, you know? If I have to stop and speak and look in Swahili, you're not going to hear the real Genesis. You're not going to hear me. The bottom line, I'm speaking to the English-speaking black world, right? Hopefully, we can have people in the French-speaking black world. Now, the Portuguese Africa, I'm not worried about because they produce Amikar Kabar, and they can produce Samora Macau and all these other people, and all these other people in Angola, the MPLA and Angola, and all these other people like that. So Portuguese Africa was different than French Africa. Okay, so bottom line is this: the French Africa are French. You know, they didn't have any. They didn't have the chance to develop in the modern world outside of the French paradigm. So it's very hard to these people in the French Africa really think they're Frenchmen. You know. So they don't really consider, they don't care about what goes on in Haiti. They're France. France is the mother country. And that's the whole thing. You got people in the Anglophone countries like the Ghana and everything. Every time Ghana has a beef with Nigeria, they don't go to Nigeria and say, let's sort this out. They go to London. And London and the European Union plays kingmaker to African politics. It's like that right this day. That's why African countries turned their back on Gaddafi. You know, because European countries told them to. So all this stuff right here, we can't keep kidding. I'm not going to do that, you know. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, we're no place. Right now, you got little ass Chinese beating a black man upside the head in Africa and whatnot. You know, Chinese in Rwanda had this one guy. When Rwanda didn't play that, they gave the Chinese guy 20 years. The guy was people stealing from him, rightfully so. He had to write about it when he stole from him and whatnot. But and he tied these people to a stake and was whipping them. For stealing, a Chinese mining company, wherever, and just humiliating and whipping them. Right now, you got Chinese guy in Malawi doing videos that was on the BBC talking about having innocent African children say, I'm a black ugly monster and stuff like that. And sending it as video greeting cards, making money off it and humiliating Africans. And so the bottom line is this. We black people, the black race, have to start cleaning fucking house. Now, you can't clean the world up, right? We want the world to be a better. No, I want fucking my home to be a better place. Motherfuck the world. We got the world, nigga. Worry about your own house. Get these people that's causing problem in your own house. It's like you have somebody living on your house as an interloper and they don't move out and everything like that. You're on the street talking about what you gonna do. The world, we got these problems. No, first problem is get the problem in your house out. Get these freaking people out of here that you don't need. Then once you have your shit together, right? Then you can sit around and bloviate about, oh, I think this should happen in Ukraine. But Africans are all over the world talking about politics. I think the Russians do it. Nigga, you don't have proper sanitation in your country. And what the hell are you doing commenting about what goes on in China, Russia, and all these people got their shit together. You don't. Yeah, and then not only that, you want them to come to Africa and fix the shit for you. While you spend 30 years abroad, studying at a prestigious university in London, call up a battlefield. I would like to see these battles because there's nowhere in the world black people are really free. Where are these battles? Okay, sellout mulattoes reject Pan-Africans. I don't see that, bro. The bottom line is this. That's a stupid comment because right now the people who reject Pan-Africanism are mostly people of the indigenous Africa. So don't come to me with that. Oh, the mulattoes and all stuff, super stupid stuff like that. It ain't about who's mulatto, who's this, that, and the other thing. The friggin' bottom line is what's in a man's heart. If a person like this, so by your assumption, the president of Equatorial Guinea, who's a puppet, who was installed there by Western oil companies, who's looting the country, the money, billions of dollars going right to his personal bank account while the people live in squalor, no development, everything. He's pure 100% African, black African. He must be okay. The people that are causing refugees in the Congo right now, child soldiers, everything like that, they're not mulattoes, everything like that. I'm sure. And also, I got a freaking guy. I think Dinah's better. This guy, Cherie, whatever, I blocked him on fucking Facebook, right? You can't use Haiti as an example, Papa Doc, that's irrelevant, That's really irrelevant, irrelevant. This guy, Cherie, whatever his name is, so I blocked him. I'm tired of his mother. This guy will inbox me all night, talk about how he wants to bum rush Rwanda. He's Congolese, right? He was in Ohio. Yeah, Kala, you said you had Congo blood. Yeah, my ancestors came originally from the Congo, but I'm not a freaking Congolese. I'm African. I'm a black man, African American. I'm a Pan-African. I'm not no Congolese. We should bum rush Rwanda. So all the conversation, all the messages he sent me he was sending me like 50 messages a day. He never mentioned one time the Belgium. He never mentioned the Canadians. He never mentioned the Lebanese. He never mentioned the French. He never mentioned the USA. He never mentioned anything. All he wants to do is focus on, Rwanda is good because they're stealing stuff. Rwanda is in basically buying bauxite and stuff like that and coltan and processing it and building industries. They're legitimate, in Rwanda. It's become a attack. You're jealous because your people won't go back to the Congo. You got these Congolese pain in the asses that live abroad, always talking about this. You guys let what's his name, Joseph Kabila, Laurent Kabila's son, assassinate him. He was a real revolutionary, right? You guys let him say, and this guy became a billionaire, partner with Israeli diamond mining interests, right? But no, let's not talk about that. The problem is Paul Kagame. We got to get rid of Paul Kagame. So what do you want to do? Bum rush Rwanda, right? Yeah, we're going to take it. So Paul Kagame is ready for you, And you got all this instability in the Congo, right? Rwanda's border. And you got some Rwandan rebels in there sending out messages on YouTube talking about, we're going to fuck shit up. We're going to bum rush the shit. We're going to rape, kill, pay. You got people that are just in that mentality. And one day, us black men, we're going to need a 10 million black army strong, right? To sort this shit out. We're going to need a real massive black Pan-African army. We don't have that, We're going to need a real army to create order on the African continent. Because as long as in the back of everybody's mind, right, if we could have all the plans we want. But as long as we got niggas in America and in Africa, right, that are wreaking havoc in our communities right here in America, right? We can't do nothing about America, but we damn sure are going to be able to do something about Africa. The bottom line is this: we have to have it so that if you sell us out, right, you're going to be given a trial, right? You're going to be given a trial. You're going to give it a chance, everything like that. But if you cause death and everything like that, you're going to be put on trial, right? And guess what? You're going to be marched up to the gallows, right? You're going to give a chance to say your last prayer, right? And you're going to be hung from the neck. When that happens right now, and people know there's consequences to this shit. So if you want to basically side with the Europeans, if that little pocket full of money is well worth your life with it, you go right ahead and try it. But one day we're going to have it like that. One day, I pray to God, one day we're going to have justice. One day you ain't going to be able to kill and cause chaos and confusion and mass murder on the African continent and get away with it. And people are like this, well, geez, man, what happened in Liberia? The bottom line is if we were able to protect Liberia through those times, that coup in 1980 wouldn't have happened. But we're trapped here in America, right? The strongest and the brightest of the black race is here in America. We need to be in Africa strong. We need to back up our states on the continent and help keep order and chaos and let people know. Like right now, the United States just arrested a rebel leader in Liberia. These guys we let these guys come to America and seek refuge. And we're going to do so that we're going to basically persecute these people who make it to the United States. You know, you ain't going to have no rest and refuge around us. We're going to tell people who you are, because a lot of black people don't know. They're just like, yeah, well, I don't know. It's unacceptable for you not to know what's going on in the continent. Every last single country in Africa, I could tell you who did what did who, and who the good guys are, who the good players are. I could tell you every last single conflict in Africa, you know? So nobody could come to me with some half-assed thing talking about, yeah, Paul Kagame did this in 1994, and this is right, we're so fucked up right now. You're fucked up right now because plane loads of legal planes are flying into the Congo, and they're flying out in rebel-held territory, right? And they're causing uproar. The people are uprooting for their village and everything just to make way for illegal mining companies, which are taking out gold, bauxite, uranium, everything, and flying on planes and everything to their prospective countries, you know? And so the bottom line is, I don't want to hear anything about goddamn Paul Kagame, you know? And this is the way we have to say, you know, we have to say, this is a new Pan-African movement. A new Pan-African movement, right, stands its ground and puts its nonsense and everything. We have to know what we're talking about when we engage the content. It's not enough to have this feel-good Pan-African stuff. We have to know who's in and who's out and who's with us and who's not. You know, we have way too many people on the African continent, right, who are in bed with the Europeans, in bed with the Chinese, in bed with enemies of black people worldwide. These people are the ones that basically are on social media, and like I said, the so-called ADOS FBA people too, you know, trying to cause friction and trying to cause chaos between black people around the world. And the bottom line, when you look at the end result of it, we have fractured secretariat, and we're almost like, oh, we're going to Africa. We should be going to Africa with our head up saying, you know what's right, I know what's right, let's put this together. You know, any misinformation, when you come to the continent, right, when you go to the continent, and they see your presence, they listen to you, listen to your heart, you listen to your soul, and everything like that. They say, okay, we're on the same accord. They should be. You know, Brother Bomani goes to the continent, Dynas goes to the continent, and people know what these two brothers are about. You know, these guys, Bomani has 16 years. How many years, Bomani?
Yes, brother, 16 years,
16 years.
2006 to 2022.
16 years, you know, and you can't just come here and out of nowhere and get a YouTube channel and start talking shit about a brother who's been at this for 16 years. This brother's a real Pan-African, and not just Pan-African talk, right? Because a lot of people talk about Pan-Africans, right? But yet they engage in divisiveness. They engage in tribalism. They engage in ethno machismo and all this kind of nonsense. This brother has humbly taken black people from the West. He's a Jamaican ancestry or not, but he's basically helped so many African Americans as he sees them, rightfully so, as his brothers and sisters. This is a real Pan-Africanist right here, Brother Bomani. And so this nonsense about, yo, where you were born, all that, yo, we're black in the West. You know, we're all one people. If your ancestors came on those slave ships to the West, we're all one people. Now, it's just like somebody saying, well, I can't rock with somebody because he's from Florida and you're from North Carolina and everything. That's stupid, that is. To me, that's as dumb as somebody saying, oh, somebody's from Jamaica and Trinidad, he can't rock with, he didn't want to. No, it don't work like that. See, it's when you don't have any real power, right? And this is what I love about Liberia, right? Do you know that Liberians, basically, there's two Liberian cultures for the most part. There's a diaspora culture and what we call a cosmopolitan, you know, of Africans or black people. The Liberians that became Liberians came from all over Africa. They came from the West. They came from Europe and everything. These were black people, right? When they came there. And I'm proud of the fact that it was the African-American culture, right? The same thing in America. when the Africans or whoever came to America, right, they immediately went to a black church. They joined the black lodges and so they went to free black communities and everything. And we're all one people. You know, they were all one people. So same thing, but that idea of Pan-Africanism is not just talk, it's do. You know, you can't be a Pan-Africanist, right, and preach divisive stuff as far as like Haiti and Caribbean and all this kind of freaking nonsense. When you know what Pan-African really is, look, what you look like in the mirror is what you are. You know, now you may feel some type of way about your tribe. Oh, that's fine, and everything. But when you try to build your identity around a tribe, that's basically what I'm seeing now, right? Is like you got the so-called Mandingo Association in London. First of all, what the fuck are you doing in London? And then when you say Mandingo Association and all stuff like this, right? You know, for a fact of the matter is you got white friends and you're out there kicking it with the white people talking about your great Mandingo heritage and they're gassing your head up about how great you are and everything. And then basically you take shots at other African tribes and everything. I know what the hell's going on. I know what the hell. When people start talking this tribalism stuff, it ain't because they see any value in Pan-Africanism. It's that because they feel that if they could distinguish themselves from other black people, they can get closer and strike a deal with white people. They think white people are inevitable. So therefore, I'm going to distinguish myself by the Mandingo Association of such and such, such and such. Like, you haven't been back to your tribe in 30 years. You don't know anything about what's going on the ground, but you're a Mandingo on Facebook and stuff like this, you know. You're a proud Bassa man on Facebook. You're a proud Yoruba. You're a proud this and everything. That's fucking bullshit. All you want to do is basically talk your ethno-nationalism stuff and everything like that to the detriment of a global Pan-African family. You can't have both. Either you believe in a global black family or you basically stick with your tribalism and stick over there. Because the bottom line is when you start coming up for us, we'll check you. You know, just like there's some people, you know, people who always want to put suspicion in people's minds about African Americans coming to Africa. You know, certain Negroes that be peeing all the time. You know, they sit up in Europe, you know, and they want to dictate to the rest of us what Africans are and what Africans and African Americans are criminals and scammers and all this stuff like this and everything. Brother Monty, you got back from Ghana, right? You just come back from Ghana?
Yes, absolutely.
Now,
Got back
Brother
from
Bomani,
Ghana.
we were told by a certain Negro that's peeing, you know, that as soon as you land on Ghana, that you was going to be arrested and the warrants out for you and stuff like this, right? But you seem to be sitting in your place. That's not, you're not in a Ghana jail right now, are you? You know?
Went there, handled my business, did my tour, you know,
You mean
built
to
our
tell me? You mean to tell
identity.
me? You
Now
mean
I'm
to tell me
back
you're
here
back in the
in
states? You're back in the
Georgia.
states. You're back in the states right now. That's your house right now. That's not the bottom of a Ghanaian jail cell.
Absolutely, man. This is the headquarters here. This is
Yeah,
this.
see, that's what I thought. So the Negro Peon said that you was gonna be in jail, that you're a scammer. So what I'm saying is, all you people that doubted Brother Bomani, you got egg on your face. You know, successful tour, and then like I said, next year is gonna be something because I will be on that tour to Liberia. You know,
Yes,
it's
I'll
gonna
be.
be something the world we have never seen. And we're gonna turn that shit the hell up. You know, we're gonna turn that up. Got a
The
couple of
COVID
people that
era
want to come.
is gone. I mean, the COVID era is kind of phasing out. So, you know, it's a perfect time, you know, to get your investments on. And family, the Liberia journey is not just a tour. It is a connection also for you to get into business and investments.
And
It's
also
a perfect location.
you're continuing what your ancestors built. Like I said, I have a novel, right? You can get on Amazon. Journey to the Promised Land,
You go,
right? You
family.
know what I'm saying? Journey to the Promised Land, you know? And basically it's about the Liberia Exodus of 1878. I fictionalized it, right? I did a lot of research. I had to study ships, I had to study everything. I did a lot of research for this book. It's about the Liberia Exodus of 1878 from Charleston, South Carolina, following the Hayes-Tillman Compromise in the Reconstruction. The what was appeared was as apparent, as I always say, right? Black people in America, right, decided that it was time to spend the next 100 years and into the 20th century. It was even the 20th century emigrating outside of America. They felt Liberia was a perfect place. The Liberian emissaries came over there, invited black people over there. They sung the praises of the Liberian national anthem, right, and pledged allegiance to the Liberian flag. There was so many people that came to Charleston that wanted to go, but it was only one ship. It was only one maiden voyage before the white people basically sabotaged the company. One maiden voyage called the Azor made it over there, but that was the last thing. The ship was impounded, right? They got Negroes to go in there and say they were defrauded on stock or whatever. The same thing they did to Garvey, right? And they basically stopped it. Years later, this story of the Azor, of a self-repatriated movement, was still in the minds of Black America and led to the Marcus Garvey movement in the 1920s. This movement right here is what brought the Marcus Garvey movement, right? Marcus Garvey didn't start the Back to Africa or Liberia movement. It was already in place. He came and electrified it. Okay, he came on there and they said, "Yeah, man, we were trying to." And that was just one of the things he talked about. One of the things, but that was the most popular: the settlements in Liberia, paying off Liberian debt, and then reselling Africa. So we're basically continuing on this journey of repatriation and everything. It doesn't mean everybody has to go, but we basically got to send our people, our brightest people, to build on the African continent. It's a duty, it's a duty for us, And once basically the world sees that we're serious about this and we have people on the continent, and then also the next generation African American diasporas that are born on the continent, I call the children of God. I call the African descendants of slaves who were born in Africa the children of God. Because you made it back to African soil. You come from bondage and you were basically born back on African soil. That's the children of God. And that's what I call them in the book right here, the children of God. And so the whole thing is this, though. We are continuing this tradition of becoming the children of God, like the Israelites, returning to the land of our ancestors, and building, and so therefore we have to honor our ancestors and everything. There's a reason why they were drawn to this land. This land is sacred. Liberia is a sacred land. It's a beautiful country, beautiful. When they went to Liberia, they found paradise. They said they love this land so much and whatnot. And there was a myth that, oh yeah, they went to Liberia and they did everything they could to make peace with the indigenous people, marry with the indigenous people, and integrate with indigenous people. But they had to do it on their terms. They understood that they had to build a Republican sort of government. And a lot of our indigenous brothers and sisters didn't understand. They had to get educated to understand what a republic is, what a nation is. A republic is the only thing that's going to protect you. If you don't form a republic, someone will make you their protectorate. Nigeria wasn't a republic, right? So it became a protectorate, or sometimes an outright colony of a foreign power. Liberia was strong enough to declare its independence to the world powers that said we're a sovereign territory, even though it lost half its territory with French encroachment. It was a republic. It was a sovereign state, And while most of the countries in Asia and Africa, Latin America were colonized, this little country, black country, showed the world that black people could run a country. And because of Liberia, right, we have African leaders said, look, post-war II said, if they could do it, we could do it. So this is why, to this day, they try to discredit Liberia, right? To make it seem like black people can't run a country and everything like that, that you need whites in the population. Liberia is the only country where only black people can become citizens. Only black people can own land and stuff like that. There are exceptions. We got Lebanese own hotels and everything. There's exceptions. But as a rule, there's no Chinese people. There's no Afrikaners, right? A couple of years ago, there was this troll Boer Afrikaner guy, right? This guy, I know, is a war criminal. He used to be on my Blog Talk Radio chat, right? Yeah, it's a real story in my book. Yes, it's a real story. Yes, it's a real story. It's about the Liberia Exodus of 1878. I fictionalized it. The Azor, the ship, the Azor. Okay. The part of the more free so wanted to return were intercepted by dominant white power. Well, more people wanted, but the thing is, you got to understand something, right? Going across to Africa wasn't cheap, right? The United States government had pledged to money to settle black people in Africa, right? But they reneged on it. The southern, so you got to say something about the southern white people, right? The racist white people. They didn't want us here, right? But the thought of black people having something of their own in Africa was a bother to them too. Hey, can you understand the psychology of that? It bothered them that we were here in this country, but they needed our labor and everything, right? They hated us, right? But the whole thing is, you understand something. They believe that our permanent place is under their neck in America. So when black people went to Liberia, when they had stories of becoming successful businessmen and farms and everything like that, and they would write letters to their former masters and everything, saying, "Yeah, man, I'm over here on my own farm. I got my own everything and everything like that." And one ex-slave wrote and said, "You should send your daughter over here." He said, "You should send your daughter over here, man. She could be my maid, whatever, like that." He sent her a letter, just being cheeky, you know. And so I say, "Yeah, I promise not to molest her too much. You know, send your daughter over here. His former owner. You know." He said, "I'm over here." One guy went over there in Liberia, right? Became a governor of the mill. Each township had a mill where you farm. Just how settlements went. And this is why Liberia was a perfect country, right? Because unlike today, where everybody floods into Monrovia, right? The settlers in Liberia, there was what we call upriver people, right? You had the Monrovia class was the elite, right? They lived in Monrovia, the merchant princes and everything. The new people coming across, like the people in my book, the Azores, right, were upriver people. That means they went upriver to the upriver settlements. They became farmers, everything like that. This is how people did back in those days, right? This was pre-industrialized, the pre-industrialized world, right? Everybody was a farmer, but they have two or more skills with them. So you were a farmer, right? You made your money, you sold your crop to the thing, you had all the money for a year. In the meantime, you may make carriage wagons, you may be a blacksmith, you may be all that. You may be a preacher, you may be a school teacher. People did multiple tasks. These were strong black people, you know? It was a strong black people. And the bottom line, they all had the churches, town halls, and everything like that. The masonry, the Liberian architecture and masonry is amazing. You're going to see some of that. If you make it a Cape Mount, I'm telling you right now, in Robertsport, Cape Mount, you're going to see the ruins of buildings that were built. You're going to like, how the hell they do that? You know, so the African Freemason Society, and African Masonic Order, and all these skilled trade. Liberia had most of the black world. The people who came to Liberia had skills. You had to have skills. You had to have a brick mason, everything like that. That's why they would build a country on their own. From memory, they built a lot of the streets basically, like for example, Harper in Liberia, Harper's I think is a street in Harper, Liberia is Maryland, right? Is Harper, Maryland, and is Harper, Liberia, and they have Baltimore Street. And the bottom line is the settlers basically from drawings and everything designed the streets like they were back in Baltimore. So Maryland and Liberia was very similar to Maryland and the United States, and basically they copied streets and everything. The first modern black civilization emerged. You know, you look at Buchanan, right? And Buchanan, Liberia. I drove through Buchanan when I went to Liberia. It looks just like a southern town. The ditches and everything like that. You got the fields, the cornfields. You have the chickens out there. People have the chicken on the farms and everything. It's like you would think when you go to down coast to Buchanan, or you go up coast to the upriver settlements, you would swear you was in Georgia or rural North Carolina or South Carolina. You would swear you was looking at the Gullah Geechee country, you know, the way the people act and everything. And it's like I said, you see the power that our ancestors did. They were able to, one, Africanize themselves, but yet they keep that same Gullah Geechee, Creole, African-American culture alive in Africa. And so they blended certain African culture aspects to their own personality and everything. But the bottom line, you still see the effects because the local people, all the local people, they adopted the ways of the Liberians. You know, they have the churches, they live in wood framed houses. I did not see one mud hut when I was there. I did not see anything when I was there. And I was in the rural area and everything. All the Liberians basically are pro modern. They're basically just an extension of Black America. It's a fusion of Black America and Africa altogether. It's like being in friggin' Kenya and Detroit at the same time. You know, so you're gonna love that experience in Liberia, you know. And so, like I said, the people over there, when you talk to them on the streets, you're gonna think you're just talking to brothers from the United States. Yeah, what's up, bro? You know, they same lingo, same everything, you know. And so, like I said, in the Calabash restaurant, let me tell you about the Calabash. They just remodeled it, brother Bomani. That place is fire, man. We got to have a big party there. You know, that's a send-off party. That's gonna be, oh my God, that place is so amped. They call it the Miami of Liberia because it's built on the water. and the lagoon is right across the way from there. The food, the dance, the ambiance is off the chain. You know, on Old Congo Road, Old Congo Town Road. You Calabas, the Calabas is, oh man, I had so much fun when I went there. It's off the chain. And then what's supposed to guy, he spent years in the United States. And that's another thing. When you meet Liberians, most of them have been in the United States for 20, 30 years and they're going back. So you're gonna be meeting a lot of people. You know, you ain't gonna be nothing special because you're special, but you're like, yo, yeah, man, you know, that's my boy over here in Philly and everything. They're gonna have strong connections to the United States too. You know, so you're gonna have that's like a icebreaker. You know, it's not like you go in there and I gotta reintroduce it. They know who you are. They know all about you. They watch all the stuff we are. They read our magazines, everything like that. You know, so Liberia is essentially part of the diaspora. You know, that's part of the diaspora. So like I said, it's an excellent country to build a business in. You know, if you want a beachhead in the continent, I would say start with Liberia, and then if you want to branch off to other parts of the country, make Liberia your home base. You know, because if something don't go right in the country, that's always going to be a safe haven for us. You know, it's African American friendly. You know, it's like I said, it's none of that stuff you see in other countries. I see, oh yeah, none of that. You know, the people are friendly. You know, it's just really, really, you'll love it. You know, you'll love it. You know, all of Africa is good, but you know, Liberia is like a special place because we had a hand in building that. You know, our history, like I said, people think, well, we talk about Africa when people don't realize that Liberia, 200 years ago, right? We came to America in 1619, right? 200 years in America, right? And then 200 years of us returning to Africa. We're just basically 200, we spent 200 years. The last African Americans who went to Liberia was in like 1982, I believe. It was like 2 years after the coup and everything like that. It was Liberia was stabilized after the coup up until like 1985. Then it stopped. But there was African Americans who were settling in Liberia in the 70s. My sister Maya Atta, her father was Kwame Atta. There's a street named after him. He was a Pan-Africanist in the 1960s. He moved. He was the one who founded Fiancra. You ever heard of him, Bomani? He founded the Fiancra movement in Ghana. Okay, on the Volta River.
Yes, I'm definitely familiar with that one.
Kwame Atta, you know. But in the 70s, right, in 1975, he decided, right, after Kwame Nkrumah was deposed years later, because he was friends with Kwame Nkrumah, and he told Kwame Nkrumah, said, I want to build an African American and diaspora settlement in Liberia. I mean, it's going to be in Ghana. And so when that didn't happen, he took his Fiancra idea to Liberia. And Maya Atta, she grew up in Liberia as a young person, you know. But that's my sister right there. She has she does Radio Liberia and whatnot. I haven't talked to her in a while, but I got to reach out to her, you know. But she was in Liberia for a thing. I got her a couple of interviews online, but I introduced her to a lot of people. But anyway, her family, she spent her childhood in Liberia, you know, from Ghana. And she said, man, it was like they said they fell in love with Liberia when they went there. They were like, yeah, we like Ghana, but that was a place. When they went to Liberia, they felt at home. They felt more at home. But Kwame Atta, you know, we got to his legacy, you know. Unfortunately, what happened is Fiancra, we all know about that. But, you know, that's why I said we have to be mindful of, you know, that not everybody shares our views on Pan-Africanism and everything. So we have to be careful and be strategic in what we do, you know. So that's that. But like I said, we're going to get there, you know. Like I said, this is the Liberia I call the promised land, you know. I call it the promised land. It is the promised land, you know. Why? Because the bottom line is from Liberia, we can branch and build throughout the whole continent. It's not like, and also we'll be like this, you know. It's like, okay, you're African American. Okay, I'm an African, but I live in Liberia. Okay, yeah, I live in Liberia. I got connections to the United States. Imagine how powerful that is. Yeah, see, well, people basically, a lot of people in the diaspora, we don't really have a. Now, Jamaicans are in a better position than us because they got some sort of territory, you know, that they could boast about and stuff, you know. But black people in America, we don't friggin' have that. You know, we don't have that. We don't have that in America. Because when people go to America, when they go talk about America, you know, black people, Now, how we could change the game is black people are local. You got to say something, brother. Do you know if you take the state of Virginia itself, right? Its GDP and everything is larger than the United States was at that time, 1822. We have more educated people and everything. The state of Virginia. So these states that we have, we just dismiss them as states, right? The state of Georgia is powerful. It has a global reach. We have to tap into those things with through sister city projects and stuff, and basically tell people, okay, yeah, I might not have no power on the national level, but my state is just as powerful. This, the state of Virginia's GDP is higher than the whole country of Nigeria, with only 8 million people. So and black people are in every powerful position in the state of Virginia. And this here on the eastern United States. These are where the most powerful black people, if we had our sense, would live. The influence and power, the social power, and the political power of the black people here in the eastern United States is formidable. The states like Georgia, I don't know about Florida, but Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, black people have a lot of power. South Carolina, and these states, North Carolina, that black people have a lot of power. Virginia, Delaware, Maryland, all these states right here on the Atlantic seaboard, right here, black people have a lot of power and influence, right? It was that power and influence that got Delta to resume flights with Bob Johnson in 2010. Bob Johnson, when he built the hotel, he got Delta to commit to stopping flights, doing flights to West Africa, because the world had written off West Africa. And Bob Johnson said no. Now, even though Delta had some issues, we're still having challenges with Liberia's airlines and everything. But the bottom line is the message was sent. You cannot discount Liberia because it's significant history. And so therefore, the bottom line is this: if unfortunately the last administration didn't really take seriously, but this administration of George Weah really is keen on African Americans and people like that coming to Liberia and investing. And if we could bring Bob Johnson and all that back to Liberia, right, and say this is we didn't know much about Liberia and everything at the time and everything, but over the years, or the last 10 years, I put out so much information, Dynas put so much information, and the world sees Liberia. And it's because of Dynas' show. I told Dynas do a show he went to Liberia in 2020, 2 years ago, right? He went to Providence Island, right? And he interviewed Janine Cooper. Out of that, right, Janine Cooper becomes Minister of Agriculture from that show. I introduced those two. And then out of that, they said, we got to have Providence Island and talk about the landing. And it's smashing success. Do you see the pictures on Providence Island? They have a replica of the Elizabeth ship, They're everything. You're going to really enjoy yourself. Providence Island is beautiful. I couldn't go down there when I was there because they said I had to go to some place and get a key and everything like that. So I just videotaped it from above on the bridge, on a Tubman Bridge. I just videotaped it. But I didn't get a chance to go down. I didn't touch on the soil. I just stood above it and pretended I did, But now it's open to the public. You could cook out there and stuff like that. It's a beautiful island, That's where our ancestors first settled, that beautiful island, right there in the Maserado River off Bushrod Island, So bottom line is you're going to really enjoy yourself on Providence Island and everything, the history. Why they first called it Perseverance Island because we persevered so much, and we had to, not only we had to fight our way out of America, we had to fight our way in Africa. There was conflict, but out of any let me tell you something, folks. Nothing worth having is not going to happen without conflict. We got conflict right now where people spread misinformation about what I do and Brother Bomani's doing. There's always going to be conflict. There's going to be conflict in Ghana. There's going to be conflict in Liberia. But the bottom line is this. Only a fool is going to give up and say, something, it ain't worth it. Stand. No. Out of the conflict, man, with cooler heads prevail and people see the bigger picture, then we benefit. The coward will run in the midst of conflict. Oh, I can't go there. I heard that our people did something to the native people and everything. That's cowardice. But we're taking ownership of everything, good and bad, about our history in Liberia. Why? Because we, as African Americans especially, need a homeland. We need a place. We need a place where we can invest our money. We need a place that we can take our honeymoons at. We need a place where we could build a beach house at, you know? We could build timeshares. We could invest in hotels. We could invest in all stuff like that. We need a place where we have retreats, you know? And so the bottom line is Liberia is a perfect place for African Americans. Not Liberia and Sierra Leone, but mainly Liberia. And it's also then after we establish ourselves in Liberia and everything, people know who we are. We're the diaspora. Where's our homeland, our primary home, Liberia? But we also live in Ghana. We also live in Nigeria. We also live in Cameroon and everything. Liberia has to be that place across the pond. That's our landing place before we go anyplace else. Before we go to Angola, before we get a place, Liberia has to be that place. That has to be the place where we build an African diaspora slave museum. You know, that's where we have to have our big conferences at. You know, our Pan-African conferences at. You know, I would like to have one in San Niquelli, you know, where OAU was formed in the hills of Nimba Mountains. You know, we have to do this, folks. Liberia is very important. You know, Liberia's beaches and everything like that, the Grand Bassa Beach and everything at Sunset Beach is beautiful. You're never going to see any more beautiful thing in your life in Liberian beaches. And a lot of beaches and resort things are black owned, you know, black owned, you know. You have a lot of Lebanese and everything like that. Lebanese hire, do business with black people. I'm cool with that. But there's a lot of black owned businesses and stuff like that. You see Liberians are very industrious people. You don't see a lot of foreigners running shit. Yeah, the Indians are there, other people there. But first I was gonna be like, I'm gonna feel some sideways seeing Indians. Man, but when I see the black businesses and Liberians owning their own stores and everything, I was like, I shut up. Because I'm like this. Now the trendier places, like this place in Syncor that has a nice restaurant, pizza parlor and everything like that, I ate there. And they got a modern shopping center there, one that's really nice, owned by foreigners and everything, but all the workers there are black, you know, or Liberians, you know? And so it looks like you feel like you're in California or something like that, you know? It's like you're right in Syncor. The restaurant's like a 5-star restaurant. They got this one place. I broadcasted a show with Diners, right? And I was sitting there. It's a pizza and ice cream parlor and whatnot. It's really nice, you know? And they got this one ice cream parlor on Tubman Boulevard. It's like the nicest place I've been in my life, you know? Yeah, I really had a good time there. Ice cream was freaking delicious. I bought my driver ice cream, my fiance ice cream and everything. We had a good time. Bottom line, and also the place you're going to go to, it's called Fusion Restaurant. Let me tell you about the ambiance of this place. Now, you guys are going to go there in the daytime, right? But it turns into a club at night, you know? Fusion Restaurant, the food is fabulous, right? It's owned by the Ure family. The Ure family is a prominent family in Liberia. And I hope that Ture will be there for you, brother Bomani. We gotta get them on, so she's there doing an interview with you and stuff like that, you know. And hopefully, we got some people in Liberian radio and stuff like that. We want to hopefully have you interview on Liberian radio channels and everything, and spread the word, you know. And the bottom line is, as more African Americans basically put away for their tours and everything like that. As more and more people start coming over to the continent, once the number of African Americans start coming to the continent, which is going to increase, you know, it's going to be something. Once this is an autopilot, Bomani and I can sit back in America and just do trips, and everybody on the ground just do their thing. You know, we don't have to go over there. They're on autopilot. You know, we got several different trips at one time in the same country at one time, doing their thing. You know, and people can pick their schedule, what they want to see, and stuff like that. It's going to be big, but that's coming in the future. Hopefully one day when we got enough people to justify this, we could basically invest in our hotel over there. And so the bottom line is this. Bottom line is what we need is more and more black people to be interested in touching on African soil. You know, once you touch on African soil, let me show you something, Brother Bomani. Let me tell you something.
Right.
You know what this is? Put the camera on. You know what this is? This is African sand, African soil. You know, it's African soil right here from the motherland. This is African soil. I keep that with me.
What are you gonna make your fish tank?
No, I spill blood on it. I put my blood on it. I prick my finger and spill my blood on the soil. I take a ritual, you know. and pledge my blood to African soil. Blood and soil. And so that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I pledge my blood to African soil. You have to touch down on the African continent. You have to basically go to Africa. You have to touch down. Liberia is an excellent place to basically get started on the African continent. Because once you're on the continent, like I said, I remember I was sitting on the beach like, yo, man, I'm on the continent, man. And I was yelling on the beach, hello, South Africa. I was yelling, hello, South Africa. Can you hear me down there? I said, I'm on the continent, man. That's what I felt like, man. I was like, I'm on African soil, so I'm touching African soil. That means I'm connected to Kenya, I'm connected to Ghana, I'm connected to Angola. I'm on the same African soil as all these other countries and everything. And I just felt really, really good. We felt really, really good. But we're going to have a great time next year. It's going to be fun. Fantastic. Anything else we want to talk about on this thing?
There it is, brother. This is the overview right here of all of the different places we're going to, family, on this incredible journey. And Kala, you've been to about 75% of these.
Yeah. I didn't OAU Village. I saw that. I didn't go in because of COVID. The Grand Masonic Temple in Buchanan. I went there, but if I had known what I known before I went to the J.J. Robertson Monument, right? The guy was like, you can't come in, you can't take pictures. Okay, I'm sorry, sir. This is my second day there, And so I realized that a little small will get you a long way. That means pull out $5 or $3, $2 or whatever like that. Oh, come on in, come on in. There was some guy, you got these people sitting there, right? And they're like, they don't work there nothing, but they're the guardians of the place, But that Masonic temple right there is right across from the U.S. Embassy, right there, right next to the U.S. Embassy. And when you go there to Liberia, I think you got to check in they like you to check in with the U.S. Embassy. I don't know if you have to do that, brother, but I did. They just want to just declare something. When you go there. So while I was there, I went
Not
across.
mandatory.
It's not mandatory, but I went anyway. And so I went there. So I went to the Masonic temple. That building is beautiful. And you saw the videos I got put up there. It's beautiful. The J.J. Roberts Monument, right? That's on the old Ducor Hotel. This was a once beautiful civilization. When you see the rocks and everything like that, you see our answer. You see how far they had to walk up that point right there on Snapper Hill and everything to build that fort and everything like that. They have the cannons, the original cannons still there. They had to protect themselves from hostile local groups. They had allies. This is another thing. It's not like there was they had the day chief. Let me tell you the story. The majority of people, local people, welcome the settlers to Liberia. Here's the thing, and this is something that we have to watch for in 2022, 200 years ago. What happened was this. The bosses were engaged in the slave trade and just basically rambunctious thuggery on the coast. Their partners were Portuguese, French slavers who were illegally at the time slaving and stuff like that, because slavery at the time was still done, and with the Spanish and the Portuguese still engaged in the African slave trade. Amistad happened in 1841, to give you an example. In other words, the slave trade was in full effect at the time. The British tried to stamp it out, but they could not locate a lot of places on the coast and everything. So Liberia was going to be a major place, right, for stamping out the slave trade with the help of the British, right? And then years later, J.J. Roberts, the Queen of England, gave J.J. Roberts a boat because the British were spending too much money on the slave patrols on that part of the coast. They were successful on the island of Bioko, which was Fernando Po and everything, off the coast of in the brighter Biafra. But that coast of Liberia right there, because of the rugged coast and the rocks and stuff like that, was very dangerous, right? And they didn't have lighthouses and stuff like that, so it was very dangerous. So the Liberians had to they relied on the U.S. Navy for protection on the settlement, and they had to patrol the mouths of the rivers and stuff like that when they're on patrol boats and their own Navy vessels and stuff like this. The day King Peter, whose son was educated in England, right? Remember, these people weren't illiterates, right? His son was educated in England, right? And he was educated in England, right? and he spoke fluent English, right? He saw the coming of these settlers as a threat to his hegemony over the area. And the only person that threatened him, that challenged him, was King Boatswain. This guy was this King Boatswain. I can imagine him sailing down with his army on the boats, right? It's something out of that. Remember the movie 300 when Xerxes came up in the boat? Remember that? Remember that? You ever seen the movie 300, Bomani?
Yes, brother. Yes.
Remember it was Xerxes when he came up on the boat, whatever like that. That's how I picture Boatswain. And everyone feared Boatswain, even though he was a slave trader and everything. He told the Days, if you mess with these settlers, he made friends with Elijah Johnson. He told the Days, if you mess with them, you're going to go to war with us. And so anyway, the Europeans, evidently, the Days feared the Europeans more than they did the Boatswain. And that's what started the war, So anyway, Peter, he was defeated and everything by the colonists and I don't say colonists, but the settlers from America. And allies of Boatswain and stuff like that. They defeated the Days, and that was it. This Providence Island was saved, and it was able to expand into the mainland on Bushrod Island and other places like that. But the bottom line, I want you to know that it was there was a lot of Liberians, indigenous Liberians, who escaped from the Days and joined the side. And this is how I tell you how beautiful this is what real Pan-Africanism is, right? You had indigenous Liberians who were slaves and had no life, right? And they said, you know something? They watched these people, right? If they built their homes and everything, they watched how they organized. They watched how women had rights and everything like that. And they saw how these people treated each other, tipped each other's hats and everything. They said, we want to be part of you. We like the freedom. We want to be educated. We want to become Christians, whatever like that. We want to be educated. We want all the stuff that you guys have. And so therefore, the conflict was between the people who ruled over these people, right, and the people who wanted to be free. And our idea of Pan-African guaranteed them freedom. Why? Because when you came to the settlement and said you wanted to become part of Liberia, right? You said, I want to learn how to speak English. I want to this and everything. You became these people. All they saw was, and these people on the coast were beautiful black people, right? All they saw was Liberians of mourning, right? These people come here and they want to be part of us, right? Next thing you know, you got school children coming from the United States and the Caribbean, sitting in the classroom with people who from and the bottom line is, and they're all mates in school, doing things that boys and girls do as one family. That's Pan-Africanism, not talk, not like it's practice. Pan-African means that something. I may be from America, slave descendant. You may be from Africa, but in this school, we're all one people now. That's Pan-Africanism.
Yes,
you
brother.
Can't have a Pan-Africanism and you're this and you're this and you're this and everything like that. No. Liberia was a place where Pan-Africanism was practiced. It wasn't talked about. It was done. That means a Fanti from Nigeria or from Ghana or people from Nigeria came there and everything, like the Igbos. That were also the most intriguing part of Pan-African was this. Check this out. There was a slave ship that was captured off the coast of Georgia, right? And they were basically sent to Liberia and they paid the Liberian colony to settle in there called New Georgia. And these were African recaptured, right, from the Congo, and some were from the Igbo land and stuff like that. But they settled in Nigeria in a new settlement on the St. Paul River called New Georgia. And these people blended right into Liberian society. Now you ask yourself this question, right? If Liberia was so difficult and everything, why did these people decide to become part of Liberia rather than try to build their own separate thing? They saw progress, They saw the progress. They said, we like the way things are done here. We want to be part of this, And they basically built their own, had schools built. They learned to read and write and everything. They were skilled carpenters and everything. They brought their skills from the Congo and everything, and they blended right in. Many people don't realize that down in the Congo, Europe, they were starting their own modernization in a place on the coast of Angola and stuff like that, where the Portuguese settled. So they had some sort of skills in the modern world, And people always think that Africa is just jungle, whatever. But there was forts and like cities and towns all over the continent. Like Benin City was a city at the time. Lagos at the time was a city and everything. It may not be modern like street lights and skyscrapers, but they were cities, you know. And so a lot of these people had already had urbanization in them. And so when they came to Liberia, they said, "Yeah, you know, I see what y'all trying to do. I want to be part of this. You know, I don't want to go back to hunting and gathering. I never was hunting and gathering. I was a tradesman in the Congo. You know, I was a painter. You know, I don't want to go back to the bush. I see what y'all doing here." And so the bottom line, the beauty about Liberia was you had all these different black people blending together to form one society, you know, and they all became Liberians. That's the beauty about that country, you know. And so, like I said, we're also us African Americans and Caribbeans, whatever, we go there, we're continuing on what was already started. We're not starting anything new. We're continuing on what was already started, you know. All right, but mine, we'll wrap it up. I see you getting tired, brother, you know, but I could talk all night.
Talk on it. All right, let's make sure we got. All right, so those are the list of the things, brother. So appreciate you going through as much of it as we can or could. So family, this is just an overview, and once you go back and click on the itinerary, you see the day-to-day. But what we're doing more so is just giving you the feel, the history, and connecting you, and just letting you know why Liberia is relevant. So Carla, that was a perfect job, perfect overview, in-depth analysis of this our connection. So family, it's been 200 years. So that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to build on to the legacy.
Build on a legacy, you know. And the bottom line is, when we start building this, man, future generations will have an option because there ain't nothing going on in America but guns, violence, death, racism, white supremacy, and division and stuff like that. America's a lost cause. And also, let me tell you some of you fellas out there, right? Liberia got some fine women, bro. You know, I mean, these women are feminine and beautiful as hell. They got soft voices. They got bodies. I mean, they're just beautiful faces. They always go out with their hair done. They always look good. You know, you got some beautiful women that you can talk to and build. I ain't saying go over there trying to do like that. You'll save that for the Dominican Republic. I ain't disrespecting the women.
That's funny. That's what's up.
Yeah. But you, if you want to hook up with a beautiful Afro black woman and everything like that, all those girls in America that won't give you the time of day. Like, you know, man, she's fine, but she ain't gonna give you that time of day. You know what I know. What I, you know, she's too fine. You know, she got too. In Liberia, those same girls will talk to you. You know, they'll give you the time of day. They'll go out with you. They'll talk to you. You know, and the bottom line, you come from the United States, man. Oh, come on, man. You know, man. Sometimes I wonder about some of these dudes, man. Do y'all like women or what, man? You know, y'all sit in America, man. Listen to these women over here, man. The bottom line, you'll find your wife. You'll find your woman over there. You know, you'll find your woman. You know, there's women over there just, and they love to treat you like a king. They love to cook for you. They love to treat you. That's what women do over there. You know, they say, sit back, man. We do what we got this. They all the cooking and everything, wash your clothes, everything. They treat you like a king in that country. You know, like I said, when I did Liberia, the first time I was there, I said, in this land, I'm a king. When I was at the airport, man, they treated me like a king, man. You know, and it was like, oh, welcome to Liberia, welcome home. They said, well, they said, welcome home. You know, they said, welcome home. They said, welcome Liberia, welcome home. You know, and the bottom line is, the people over there, and they treated me like a king, like I was a god. You know, and like I said, man, the experience of my life, man. I was like, that was just the respect and everything like that. You know, and the children. Let me tell you something. You can walk the street at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? And the young people, when they see you walking past one night, they shut up. They be quiet. You start talking to them, they'll speak to you. Oh, how you doing? It's a respect for adults there, you know? You don't have to worry about nobody robbing you and all this kind of stuff like this and everything. The people there are real good. People, be 2 o'clock in the morning, vendors are out with their money in boxes on the street corner. And they can walk away and not have to worry about somebody stealing it.
That's what's up, brother. Organized society. So perfect.
Yeah.
So family, that is it right there, family. Liberia, the reconnection, 200 years and going.
Yeah. Hopefully we're going to connect more people with this and stuff like that. And I got a lot of people watching what we're doing, you know. As soon as this trip is successful And we want people to come behind us, you know, and do their own tours and whatnot, you know. But remember who pioneered this, you know.
Yes, sir. We know we're building a flow so we can get the bridge connected.
And we're all going to benefit, you know. We're all benefit. Once we have a beachhead over there, a friendly country, and they say, why Liberia? Liberia is not connected to any of these Anglophile, Frenchophile countries, you know. You know, it's a perfect place for black people, black corporations globally to set up and shop, you know. Liberia is not, you don't have the French right now. Guinea can't do what it wants. Look at what's going on in Guinea. The French said, we ain't leaving. The French said, we ain't going leaving Mali. Mali's ours. There's no European troops in Liberia. There's none of that in Liberia. There's no Afrikaners. Oh, my story about the Afrikaners. This guy, this Boer guy, you know, forgot his name, right? Anyway, he used to be on my show, talk about it, talk about, yeah, Kala, I'm in Angola right now, effing African girls, beautiful African girl. What are you going to do about it? She goes, I make them wear my neo-Nazi flag and everything. What are you going to do about it? He said that to me. That was like 10 years ago. I said, one day, brother. That's why I said focus on Angola. He goes, you ain't coming to Angola. I said, one day I'm going to come to Angola. I'm going to find your ass, you know? He said, yo, you ain't going to never find me. I said, I'm going to find your ass, you know? You know, I can imagine what you look like. You're probably big, fat, nasty, you know, and mess with Africa. I said, yeah. He goes, the younger the better. He was just saying shit just to really piss me off, you know? I said, dude, man, when I find you, man, Jokobus, Jake Jokobus, you know, he's probably watching now, you know? And he told me, I'm going to report you to the CIA, Kala, and all stuff like this. If you ever come to Africa, you know? And then this idiot actually went to Liberia, right? He went to Liberia, right? And tried to buy land. He said, yeah, they're black racists over there and whatnot. You know, they didn't let me buy no land. I said, man, like, you lucky they didn't stomp your ass out. You know, they didn't let me buy no land. They're racist. They said, no, I want land. I said, what the hell? They don't want no Afrikaners in no fucking Liberia. Are you crazy? You say you lucky they didn't kill your ass, you know? And then he talked about, yeah, man, Liberia's racist country. Then he tried to equate the American Liberians to you guys were worse in Liberia than we were in South Africa. He tried to spread that lie. He had stupid Africans agreeing with him.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
So we got a lot of enemies in Africa, right? You know, parasites and whatnot, you know, that we got to think. I was watching this thing the other day where the wasp, a fly, right? A dumbass fly, some fly. And he flies around to the caterpillar, right? And he's like this. They say each time he's laying an egg on it, right? Now the fly's too lazy to raise his own thing, so he puts the egg on the caterpillar, right? And the egg hatches, boards into the caterpillar, eat the caterpillar inside out, you know? So he's feeding on the caterpillar. The caterpillar is a host to these parasites. That's what we have in Africa, these parasites, you know? They go and infect the body, eat their way out, whatnot, you know? And then when they're done filling all the juices, they kill the caterpillar, eat the rest of it, you know? That's what we have in Africa right now, you know, parasites. And their allies.
Yes, brother, that's what these people are, and that's what we're looking to do, reconnect and bring you into a wonderful energy of Liberia. So family, we're just letting you know that we're here predicting the future. No.
Yep.
And that is the closest connection to what Brother Kala, I'm asking if he can close out with, which is the African stand.
Okay, what is the African? Okay, we imagine African is a state or a territory ultimately, right? Where after all this, because before we could build the African, we have to build our way to that. You know, we have to. If we start having success in Ghana, where Brother Bomani's doing success in Liberia, success in this, then if all these things are positive, right? People say, yeah, African American diasporas are returning, building communities, everything. Then the ultimate thing is, okay, you know, we got all this tied up with the French Union and everything. Wouldn't it be great if we had this one state where all the African countries, wherever it could convene, and the diaspora could settle and not have to worry about citizenship and all stuff like this, you know, and everything. That we don't have to go through all the process. I guess Africa and Ghana, they got to protect their nationals, whatever, you know. Because you got to make the people feel like their citizenship means something. I get that, you know. Yeah. But what about the black people in America who said they're ready to come to the continent permanently, settle day one, not wait 7 years, and all this stuff like that, spend tens of thousands of dollars, but they say as soon as they get off the plane, like Israel, and they become they become citizens. Why don't we have that one state where they could do that? You don't tell me that's justice after 500 years of slavery and captivity. You don't
Great
think that's
point. Great point.
there's justice? But everybody else, the people to Dubai got land in Kenya now. They got land in Tanzania. Everybody else, the Chinese are making street signs in Chinese language and everything. Everybody else, but the only people that don't got shit on the African continent are the African slave descendants. You know, we have nothing of our own. And say, well, yeah, just go. The bottom line is, okay, if we say just go to Africa, what happens is we're gonna bump heads with our brothers and sisters in Africa. Africa has enough space to build an Africa state. You know, Africa has 12 million square miles. You be telling me 25 square miles somewhere in Angola, Congo, which is unoccupied and everything, can't be suffice for that. And once we do have that land, do you know how much what the equity and the credit line would be with that country, that land? Everybody in the world will be like, here's $20 billion. Here's $100 billion. Why? Because they know they're going to get a return. All we need is the land. And all we need is a land that's basically sovereign, that's autonomous and sovereign, that's not beholden to any foreign power. You know, that's not beholden to any foreign power. As long as foreigners, and also it has to be military. This is the most important thing. It has to be military protected by an army of the diaspora. Why? Because what happens is if negotiations break down, we still got control. You have to have control over something. The black people in the diaspora have no power, no control over anything. We don't have any control over anything in the West. I don't know how it is in the Caribbean and everything. Do black people actually control things in Jamaica? You know, I don't see, but maybe in Haiti.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Okay. So that means nowhere in the world that people of slave descendants have any power and control. You know, how is that, Brother Bomani? How does that happen? You know, we have no power in the West. You know, the only country that tried was Haiti. You know, look what they're doing in Haiti. You know, so the bottom line is this: the black people in the diaspora, 200 million people, the richest people, the most educated, the most skilled, the most technologically advanced, have no political power.
Yes, unfortunate. So that's
And a little country like Lesotho, with an illiterate king, has power. Look at Lesotho, you know, the people running naked and whatnot, and the British are robbing them blind and whatnot. And he's had like 20, 30 virgin wives and whatnot. And this guy got power. It's okay. People can make sense out of that. But black people from the West, no, you can't have no power. You can't have a state, you know. It's because we let it happen. We got to always say the end game is a state of our own. We could join the African family and build Africa. We could bring our wealth and talent to the continent from a position of power. We're not going to just dump it in any country and lose all our money. Liberia is a good start, but it's not the end. You know, it's not the end.
Exactly. So, family, that is it right there. Liberia is a perfect start. So that is a country we can easily transition into. So our goal is to build energy from tourism to where we can just literally just have a foundation of connections there to where when you get there, everything that you need, we got you. So we're gonna be working on this. So that is our next future venture, family. And Kala, appreciate you breaking it down. So family, we've been on for 2 hours.
Right.
You have been, yes, man. You've been sharing more and more, family. So family, stay tuned, and we're gonna do this again and again and again. And we have a little bit over 1 year before that journey. So want to let everyone know that's pass around the information and definitely view the details from the website. That way you're clear. But it's an incredible itinerary and schedule, and we're ready to do this, family. We're ready to take this to another level. And Kale, you talk about one of the main things is Liberia is the rebirth of tourism is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we can be an integral part of it. And that's what we're doing, family. We're getting you prepared, getting you ready, and we're going to keep talking about it. Any last words, my brother, before we close out?
You know, I'm grateful for this, Brother Bomani. You know, I'm grateful for what you're doing in Liberia and everything like that. I always said that Liberia should be on the thing. Other people go to different countries and everything like that. I know I'm biased towards Liberia, but I do believe if we're going to basically launch into the continent and be on the continent permanently, and I was inspired by the community in Gambia. You know, I thought every time something happens over there, oh, that's it, man. They can come and just round us all up and just put us on a plane. But after everything, people in the Bag family still there. You know, your brother Quincy Boyd is still there. You know, and all this stuff is still there. You know, so I'm saying to myself, well, maybe we can do this. You know, because I'm always at this thing. Because ever since that Fianca situation, man, I was like, oh man.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, I'm really confident now that we could do this. You know, we could do this. You know, we could do it. Why? Because we stand our ground. The Bag family, man, didn't let them punk. They didn't let nobody punk them out and everything like that. You know, and the bottom line, we can't let nobody punk us. Like, look, we have a right to Liberia because our ancestors and everything. And one, because we come from Africa, and two, because our ancestors built the country. You know, that's our blood, sweat, and tears. So we definitely have a birthright in Liberia and everything. And then all of a sudden, the Liberians will benefit from our connections. You know, and our schools, our HBCUs. I can't wait to connect our Black colleges with their universities and everything, and do education. There's so much we can do. You know, so much we could do. You know, when we build that pipeline, we create that pipeline from the diaspora to Liberia, and that will permeate throughout the whole entire continent. That was the plan all along was. You know, Liberia serve as a beachhead to go to the rest of the continent. You know, that's what Kwame Nkrumah was. Everybody always encouraged Black people in America to come to Liberia. You know, even before they come to the rest of Africa. You know, Kwame Nkrumah thought that Liberia was a natural place for the Black American. You know. African Americans or anything, you know, to gauge the continent from a position of power, you know. And so we'll continue this history. Now, this history, reason why this is all brand new, because all this has been erased from history. You probably never know who Benjamin Anderson was. Right. You probably never knew who J.J. Roberts was. You don't know that because it's been erased from history, you know. You're getting history lessons on this channel. People are like, damn, all this went along. Yeah. The reason why you don't know it is because they don't want you to know. They want you to think that the Black people came from history started in America and it ends in America. No, we've been going this only 200 years. After 200 years, we decided to go back. Think about that. Right now, we have more years of the return than actually staying. Actually, because the first 200 years was complete bondage. We couldn't leave. After 200 years, and 200 years now, 2020. 2020 is when we left. So 2 more years of us returning than the initial of us being enslaved. But what we talk about is us coming as slaves. That was only 200 years. We had 200 years of African Americans repatriating. 202 years of African Americans repatriating. And we actually 200 years after we count Liberia. We settled there in 2022, but we actually went to Sierra Leone first in 2020. 1820. You know, then we stayed 2 years in Sierra Leone, and then before we went to Liberia. So 202 years, the return's been going on.
Wow.
200 years was the slave trade. So we got the slave trade beat by 2 years. You know, we all know that. Yes, we've been repatriating a long time. But the whole thing is, what's the people say? Now I'm going to end it like this. The people say, well, what stopped it? Well, first of all, in the 19th century, we had World War I, World War II. You heard everybody repatriating World War I, World War II because of the German U-boats, you know. Liberia, unfortunately, was situated in the North Atlantic. You couldn't sail across the Atlantic. Your ship is sunk, you know. So that's what Garvey went into a stroke, right? When World War II broke out, he knew that his repatriation scheme was over, you know, because of the war. But now after World War II, they did everything they can to try to trick us into integrating into America. So we give up this idea of repatriating, you know.
But now we are back, and we're back stronger, family. We're doing it stronger for repatriation. So watch and keep watching.
Yep.
All right, so brother, great night.
Brother. Black Power. All right, brother.
Night, family.
Peace. I'll talk to you later, brother. Everybody, peace tonight. Y'all good night.
All right, so family, another beautiful journey of a lifetime connection with Color Genesis as we break down the reasons why and all the connections of what we're looking to do in Liberia and why we should connect to Liberia. So family, the journey continues. Visit our website, africafortheafricans.org, and then just reach out to me and I'll get you connected.